Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on an episode. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here, we built up a historic canal area and started the oil industry. It was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it. I really liked using real life themes as well. In today's episode, we are going to be kind of continuing out building in Prattsburgh, and we're going to be pretty much trying to finish off the build, round out the edges of the city or the town, add in some extra suburbs, change the transit, and set ourselves up for the next episode, which will hopefully be the last one out in this area, because I know we've been spending some time out this way, where we're going to be kind of finishing off the waterfront all the way to Oracle Bay. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to time these two episodes out like that, but let's hop out and take a look at where we're going to be building. So this is what we did last time. We got the historic canal in, and we rejuvenated the waterfront along Prattsburgh here, but then we also started the oil industry out this way. Nothing special, but I think it's pretty cool. So I'm hoping that in today's episode we're going to be able to kind of finish off the oil a little bit, expand Prattsburgh out in this direction a little bit, and kind of round off the edges, including out over here. So a lot going on today. We're going to be kind of bouncing around a little bit, but this is going to be very much just like finishing off the project episode, because I want to kind of build out in this area in the next episode, kind of finishing off the waterfront in this zone. I think it's going to be useful to do. So to start off with this episode, we're going to be changing up the transit. The transit is a little bit messy in this area because, to be honest, my game plan's changed twice building this. So we're going to be kind of fixing it now. And in the main kind of reason is because we have this bus and tram hub right here. Then we have a train station over here. And it just doesn't work properly. It's kind of like a mishmash. But, you know, if we were trying to, say, bring this into some sort of reality, it doesn't really make too much sense why these two would exist so separately from each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the tram up this way. We're going to have a hub with this station over here. By doing that, what we're going to be able to do is kind of conglomerate all of these train, bus, tram into one area here. We're going to get like a pedestrian tunnel so that we can get some quick access between the two areas. But I feel like conglomerating those two there is going to be good. Then we're going to rejuvenate this area a little bit into a bus hub, yes, which has a couple bus stations that will run through it. And prepping ourselves for expansion of the transit into Oracle Bay, because this area still needs to be developed, so we got to prep that. So that's going to be the majority of the episode, to be honest. And then the rest of the episode, we're going to try to expand out a little bit, get the oil industry a little bit better, and hopefully we'll have time for the farms and expanding into Dipsy Doodle a little bit. So yeah, a lot going on. Let's do this first. We're going to move this bus hub right to here, and then we're going to move the tram into this area as well. So we're going to get the tram to come right up into here, and I haven't decided where exactly it's going to terminate. I might just bring it into the station, like right into here, and then loop it around or something like that, or I might get like a loop. I'm not 100% on that, but we'll see what kind of works once we're kind of starting to do this. All right, so we've cleared out this area, and we've now moved the bus hub over here. So I added in one more stop over here just for our tram stop here, just for sakes of having an extra tram stop. But now we need to talk about the buses, because the buses are going to play a huge role in this. So trams are really expensive, right? Like incredibly expensive to build. So I don't think that a town of this size would get the funding to build a town or to build a tram too far into the city. So I'm thinking if the tram goes right into a hub, I think that's okay. But I think we can bring in yet another transit mode in here, but I think I'm going to save that for another day. So I'm not going to build up this side too much, but we'll focus on this side for now. And the buses are the key role in all this, right? So we need to cycle everything from these rural areas into this bus hub. So let's redo all the buses. So we have a few buses here, we have a ferry here, and we have 2 towns to support and an industry zone. And we have another tram line over here. So let's just kind of revise everything. And one key feature that's going to play a big role in this is a secondary bus hub right along the main street here. So we keep the same relative theme of what went on before, but not right up against this. I'm thinking we'll get it right up against here. We could even almost just like pull it back a little bit and make it into like a larger station. So I think we'll plop it down right here. This is the compact bus station. We could go for like something bigger, but or this one again, but I just don't think it's necessary. So we'll go with the compact bus station, and we'll just pull it back until we start losing the concrete hitbox. So right about to here is perfect. Yeah, really cool station here. I think we can detail this up as well. We could even get like some commercial assets along this, but I think if we make this more like a plaza, I think that would be a really cool idea. So let's kind of do that. All right, fantastic. We have a little teeny bus hub here, nice little area, a bit of a farmer's market around here too. I think this is going to be really useful. We do have a parking lot right here too, so that is good to have. So now let's reroute the buses through here, and let's talk about the actual revision of these bus lines. Oh, we definitely need to rename these stations here. So let's take this one off. We don't even really need a station name on this one, but we'll move the Prattsburgh station marker out to here as well. Fantastic. Maybe on this water tower there's a big sign that says Prattsburgh Station or something. But let's talk about the buses. So I'm thinking we reroute a lot of these buses into this hub. So we do have the black and white loop bus that kind of runs around the city. I think I'm going to keep it for now, but let's try and reroute that one first. Just focus on Prattsburgh for now. So let's grab, we have 2 buses here. We'll have this black and white line. I use the black and white to kind of demarcate that these loops are just back and forth loops. That's frustrating. I know that they only turn right into these hubs, but like, come on, you know? So I'll just try and reroute this black one and this white one in a bit of a speed through here. All right, I decided to start fresh with the buses here because I wanted to talk about the loop we can just get after, but there's 2 bus lines in particular that are really important for the working of this network in here, and that is a dedicated rapid bus line / just dedicated bus lanes from here all the way to here, where we're going to have a bus kind of run between these stations, and then I think this line is then going to run up to the oil industry. That makes sense. We'll have a bus kind of going like that. but I want another line that goes from the ferry up to here, connecting with this local hub, and then connecting up with this, and then going all the way up through to here. So that way we have a connection from Dipsy Doodle all the way to the hubs, to the second hub, and to the ferry. So that's going to be like a good link for them. Then we'll have another one that runs through here and goes up, and then we'll have a couple local lines as well that also connect up into these hubs. So that's going to be the plan. I'm going to do this in a speed through. All right, so we got the new bus lines in, and I'll kind of go over them really quickly, and then we'll really rapidly move on to something else. So we have these bus lines here. So we have a bus line running from, let's try to get it flashing here, down the main street of Prattsburgh. Connects up with the canal area, connects up with this hub, and then we'll connect up with a big hub over here in the future. This is just a temporary stop right there. And then we have the pink line here, which goes from the waterfront and the ferry, connects up with this hub for all the transfers, and then it goes all the way up to the oil area. So people working out that way have that bus. And then we have the green line, which is the first one I think I put in, which goes from the ferry to this hub, and then up to Dipsy Doodle. Then we have the one I just put in, this blue line, which goes from the ferry. It skips the hubs. I don't think it's fully necessary because we're kind of running double duty here, to be honest. But I think it's important to get this one here because of one specific point. We get the connection down to the waterfront. We get connections with the red line, which goes out to Webster area. And then we get connections along the purple line here, so for the oil. So instead of having just a dedicated bus from Dipsy Doodle over here, there is a connection point right here for transfers for people going that way. Then we have the red line. The red line goes from Webster over here down across the middle of Prattsburgh, so it's a good little bus for people in the town to take because it connects up with this hub. And then it goes all the way up to Prattsburgh Station. So I think in a way this kind of meets everything we need without having to clog up the traffic right out front of the station, because it does get a little gnarly sometimes. So I think this is a good solution because we don't really need to spend a ton of money. I mean, the Prattsburgh City Council probably wouldn't approve even a tram running through the town. It's a little small in a Canadian context for trams. So now let's upgrade the bus roads. The ones that we actually have buses on, we'll upgrade to have dedicated bus roads through here. So let's just grab this one here. This is a great bus road. And then I'll go to the transit view. All right, so we have a bus running through here, but I don't think this one specifically needs a bus dedicated road. But For example, I think I already did it, but what can we get out of this view? Yeah, these ones are dedicated bus roads. We have a little slip lane here for buses to use. And then I don't think we actually have any buses running on this road at all. So we can then clean that up to be a normal road, which is useful. And then there's not really a point for us to run a bus down this way anymore because we have the buses running along this main street here. But like I said, we're going to get more transit through this area, but that's coming once we start building up this zone soon. So let's just downgrade these roads and then we'll talk about what's next. All right, so here we go. We have the buses ready. I think we're good. I think the dedicated bus road here is going to be good, especially when we build out this way a little bit, which isn't going to be today. That's a bit of a bigger project because I think that project will happen when we expand out into this direction here. If we get like nature reserves up there or something like that. So I'm going to save that. But we need to fill out some edges of the town. I feel like there are some pockets here that definitely need some development, so that's what we're going to focus on. But there's one thing that I really forgot last episode, and I'm disappointed that I forgot this because it's such a crucial element. Right along the canals here, in between the two, what are they called? Locks. We need a lock house, a house that has the operation, the machinery to operate the locks. And I can't believe I forgot that. It was such a key feature. All right, so there we go. We have the lock house underneath the bridge between the two locks. Perfect. All right, so let's talk about expanding kind of the area out through here and then maybe towards the oil industry. So first things first, we got to make sure that the districts are okay because they are not. Because I have two industry buildings right in here, which shouldn't be there because it should be farming industry. So we need to make sure that we bring in the farming industry out this way, which makes me remember that we need to definitely extend Prattsburgh Farms, this district, out this direction. We're lagging there. Okay, very good. Let's delete these buildings here, and then hopefully we get some actual farming industry in there, which will be most beneficial. All right, so we have this kind of area in here to kind of fill in. It seems like it would probably be somewhat prime land because of the lake. However, it has an industry background. I think we need to tie that together. Looking at where this road is probably where the original water line was. So we should probably play into that theme a little bit. And why has the lake been lowered? Well, if you missed last episode, the company that owns this oil and gas company, they built the canal, and as a result it lowered the lake. And here we have like an old pier or something like that. So I think we can kind of leave that theme intact, but change some things up. So we have a road connection right here. I think we can get a road connection in, maybe over, maybe kind of have a bit of like a residential extension, and that's kind of the first step, I think, in this next process. All right, so hopefully this shows that the lake is really used to be at this level, seeing as we can see where these docks used to be or something like that. But we have some marsh kind of land through here. But yeah, I kind of want to work on this area here, making it seem a bit more like a port, maybe somewhat still active of a port. Not too sure. Now we don't have a district over here, which is good, because there's a couple assets here that I think could be beneficial here. So if we scroll through it, I'm going to pull out a couple assets like this one here with the shipping containers and stuff. I think this could be really good right here. And then there's a couple more. Maybe we go more along the routes of the industrial evolution one. Not too sure, but let's kind of work on this port area next, keeping it with like a oil industry kind of theme though. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Let's see what we can do. All right, so just a few additions down here on this old shipping harbor, but I think these little cranes add a lot. I'm not putting one on the other side because I don't think they need to be on both sides. So I'm guessing the goods will come on the trucks through here, maybe get stored here or here. This is actually a garbage asset, but why not? It can be used here. And then we have also some storage over on this side as well. So yeah, I think this could be good. As an addition, we have some housing through here. I'm going to throw down a little park asset on this corner though. That'll definitely help the land value out. Might actually throw 2 down. So yeah, these definitely add just a touch of land value, just enough. I'm hoping that it will boost, the amount of people who want to live here. Just those little 2 assets there might make all the difference. So I'm just going to hide these houses, some old houses along the edge of the town. Hopefully that people will want to work here then as well, because I don't want to lose this building. That building is perfect for this fake shipping harbor. All right. So I think that lakefront is good on this side. I'm not going to touch this side. But what else do we need out in Baxter Oil and Gas Limited? Well, we definitely need to produce a bit more oil and plastics and whatnot. So I'm thinking we're going to create a bit of an industrial kind of hub right here, and then we'll move on to the next little tidbit. All right, so we have actual production now, so that is good. This was very useful because we're going to need plastics for some of the buildings that we're going to be placing in this area. So we've done a pretty good job so far. We've done a lot today. We did a big transit move. We completed this area through here. What's next? Well, we do have this old factory here, which I think we can turn into some sort of cool park. And then that is going to lead us out into Dipsy Doodle. So let's look at kind of working this out to be something a bit more than a castle ruins, because that doesn't really make sense for the theme of British Columbia. But if we remove these turrets, like I mentioned last episode, we can make it look a lot like an old industrial building. It doesn't need to be a castle. It can be, I mean, the door is tough to hide, but I've seen some industrial ruins that are like this before, so I think we can make that to be some sort of old industry zone. So let's kind of do that. So right off of here, I'm just going to bring a road like that to about here, 6 units, and I think this is going to be abandoned. I don't think this is going to be a like a city park, but maybe people come and walk their dogs through here, or go for nature walks, or maybe just to explore the ruins. So it's not going to be gated off or anything like that, but I think it's going to be abandoned. And I think that's going to be a fun theme to kind of work out. So we'll have a industrial road to a certain point, maybe even a bit shorter than that, just to about here. And then we can run a little dirt road through here. All right, so we have a destroyed factory over here with some housing nearby too, and I felt like we could connect the road here to the rail. Maybe the city still runs trucks through there, or the railway company for emergency access or something like that. I think that's probably a good idea to kind of have. But I think that really helps round out this area too, out in Dipsy Doodle. All right, so what else are we going to kind of fill in? Well, kind of walking back to Prattsburgh, there is some good spots over here to kind of build up. Now, I'm not going to build up this area too much because I want to bring in something else into this area down the line, but I think we could definitely safely build this area up. And then I think we're going to do some non-DLC farms as well. All right, so we have our bus hub over here with our farmers market. What can go out this way? Well, I would definitely imagine that this area might see some redevelopment into maybe some larger condos or something like that, but maybe not like modern condos like we have at the waterfront. So I'm wondering if we can take this district off right here in this area, and we can get some older buildings in. Maybe this bus hub was a little bit older of an area. So if we get some high density residential in here, nothing too crazy though, nothing too big, I think we might be able to get a few cool buildings in. But we should totally get some roads through here as well. That would be really useful for vehicles. So let's bring this out. I think we could probably connect up with this road. I don't see why not. Whoops, I didn't have node snapping on. No, I did. That's weird. We'll just delete it though. And let's reconnect up. There we go. So that is the old tram right of way that we actually had on there. But I need to realign that. All right, fantastic. So we have this addition over here. And I think that's going to be a good transitional zone into Oracle Bay here, which we're not going to get as tall because this is a little too tall, I think, as some of these buildings. So I think we're going to have to lower some of these buildings down and continue it along here, get some more industry kind of through this zone. But where else can we see some expansion? Well, we have this field over here, but I don't really want to touch it. I want to leave open space through here. You don't need to fill in every single little thing, right? And then we're getting over onto this side. We're a bit too industrial, right? So I think we're good there. We have this road here, which I think is going to be more of like a farm access road. But I definitely don't see us building out more towards the oil industry. Dipsy Doodle, though, I think is prime for just a touch of expansion. But we'll get to that in a second. So there is a little pocket along here that I forgot to fill up originally, and we're just going to fill it up with some industry pockets. Now, this is going to be farming industry, so I think we're probably going to be pretty safe to kind of just zone up a few little buildings here on both sides. But I think on this side, we're going to go right up against it, get a huge one right there, and then go a little bit smaller all the way across. But through here, I don't really know if we necessarily need anything. This is kind of an awkward space, but maybe just a bit of parking. I think maybe for people who are working at the grain mill, I think that would be useful. So let's go with like a 4x2 parking lot right here. Yeah, I think that's probably good. Oh, actually probably not, because look at that. How do you get into that, right? So let's make sure that we have something like this. That's a bit better. Let's flip it around though. And yeah, okay, maybe a bit more industry out this way, seeing as we can probably get something silly right there. But I think we're good to go now. We'll start looking at the non-industries DLC farms, and this is going to really help to fill out this area. And I think we're going to have one more normal farm, because I think we're going to really start to having to amp up the crop production. So let's do that. All right, so non-industries DLC farms, how are we going to do this? Well, it's basically just blocking off an area with some fence, and then just calling it a day, adding in a house, making it seem like someone lives there and operates a farm on the property. It's going to really help to add just like stuff, in these open fields. We don't really need to fill up every single thing with crops, because that's going to be a little too messy, right? But I think we could add in a few things, but we do need to add in some crops too. And this is going to be one spot where I think we should add in some actual crop production, because we can have 2 points of entry onto it. Because right through here, I think would be really neat. We could get some crops, because we do have flour mills operating over on this side. So I think it'd be beneficial for us to have some crops there. There's not going to be a ton of trains running through here either, so I think we're probably good and safe to just kind of, with some guidelines, that would be useful, kind of just do something like this, and we'll connect up right into here too. Dean Valley Industry doesn't need to actually exist. We can remove it, but maybe add it into Hillside Farmland instead. All right, so that should really add in a lot of crop production in the area. So we don't really need to make any more crop fields. That's corn, by the way. But let's go over here and talk about a non-industries DLC farm. So what I'm thinking of doing here is kind of getting a house, just with the typical zoning. And we'll just get a house, a nice big house. How about that? And hopefully we get it to spawn. And last time we did non-industries DLC farms, we didn't have these little teeny parks. Because they are so useful. My goodness, because look at this. We have this variation of a variation 1, which just looks like a little community garden, right? But it could easily just be someone's back garden, right? No problem there at all. Let's just kind of position it like this. I think we should be good. And that should kind of face their house a little bit more once it comes in. So let's see what happens. Let's see what this house looks like. It should be a European suburbia house too, which is very good. I like these houses for farmland. Yeah, look at that. Fantastic. It looks like someone's personal garden, right? But now we're going to go into the fence. We have the farm fence. We're going to go into network multi-tool and then go parallel road. We're going to go all the way through here, just around, all the way up to the rail tracks and down to here. Yeah, right there. And then I'm just going to click minus, I think. No, plus. And that's going to bring it away from the road a little bit more. And then click enter. And then that should plant it down. And look at that. So easy. I think the only thing we really need to do here is move this fence just a little bit away and add a few more fences. So let's grab the fence here. Oh, okay. We'll just do it with this. Bring that out like that. And then we don't really need a fence line all the way along here, but we should probably get a fence line right through to about here and then over. And then we have, you know, this person's house could be some type of farm. Maybe they just like land. I don't know. Or maybe they just operate a farm and their field is fallow for now, you know? But let's get some of these trees and we'll just add in a few more through here. Get a nice little forested part of their land. Yeah, very cool. All right. So I like its forest complex too. If you'd like to name forest complex, or if you know the person who lives here, let me know and we can name that property. But we have the Pearl Zone through here, which is another unique opportunity that we have. What I'm thinking is we have a non-industries DLC farm, but this person had sold their land at some point. So let's grab this road. And what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this road down. And by doing this, what we'll do is we'll have a separate area and a separate area here that we can kind of zone up as suburban expansion on to Dipsy Doodle. All right, and we have another little farm out this way as well. Very good. I'm liking what we're seeing. And over here, we said that this field is fallow, but we should probably look at getting a few more items in. Particularly, I think we should look at getting in a few more animal products. And I'm looking at this one over here. Yeah, I think this could be a good spot for this. So I think we need a actual farm in this case, because I realized we didn't include one of these buildings in here that would be useful. So let's grab this road here, and then right about here we're going to go into the forest a little bit like that. Yeah, and then we're going to add in the only building in the farming area that we didn't include, and that is the unfortunately named, and you know, it's the slaughterhouse. It's tough, but I think it'll be good for the animal production in this area here. So for the animal products, so let's make this whole area a farm, and the Moor region, interesting name. But what we'll do is we will actually make this a real farm. So we'll need the industry main building. And what we'll do is we'll have a couple entrances over here. So this one is going to be over here. We're going to kind of create like two separate farms, I think. But it's going to be like on the same land, same name, so we can use the industries DLC stuff. So we're going to click this in right here. Fantastic. Very nice looking house. I will move this over actually so it's a bit more in this area. And then we'll get like one of these buildings out this way, kind of like that. Yeah, that's good. And then we need to use the slaughterhouse assets. So we'll go over to it right here, and we're just going to click this in. All right, so we got these farms out this way. I think this is going to be definitely beneficial for the look of the area. I mean, look at it already. It looks really much more filled out just by adding in those little farms. It actually kind of rounds out things, doesn't it? So I just want to get a few more expansions in Dipsy Doodle. So let's grab these roads, just the basic roads. And I think right off of this one, we're going to bring down a little bit, maintaining our grid. And we're not going to connect up to this road, but I think maybe what we can do is just bring down kind of like just a few grid markers. All right, and the last thing we're going to do is fill out just one more block on this side. I think it just looks a little empty, so we're just going to expand this one out a little bit further. We'll find the proper grid markers for ourselves right here, and then one more right, right there. We're not going to connect this one up. We're just going to bring it right out to that angle, and then I don't even think we're going to go out this way. Actually, yeah, let's go out to about here. I think that's fine to do. And then let's just turn zoning off of this road there, so we get some clean markers. And then what we'll do is we'll just do some large houses again. I think that's probably the best bet. Not right there, it's a bit too close. So we'll bring that out a little bit further. And then we can probably do something like that. Oop, there's a dead tree in the road. Somehow construction didn't delete that. So then right through here, we're just going to leave a space. And zone up all through here so that we don't get houses right on this road. But you know, it's close enough, right? And then I think right through this zone, we're going to do the same kind of thing as we did before on the other side, where we're just going to have leave a space for a house, add in some zoning. I think it really kind of shows that this is the end of the town. I think it does a good job at it too, leaving little spaces like this. It doesn't even need to be uniform either, because especially with some of the houses, they look like the property lines are a bit funky anyways. So I think we can safely get away with doing something like that through here, and maybe even all the way over onto this side. So I'm just going to let the game sim while we're doing this. At least 3 deep, I think, getting some large houses through here. And then maybe one more right here. And we should be good. Well, actually, I bet we could get one right here too. All right, so Dipsy Doodle is coming along real nice, isn't it? I think once we zoom out here, we're going to really see what we did today. We did a lot. We did a lot of different things. Not really a uniformed episode, but I think we've rounded off these cities pretty good. The transit was a definite good addition here, a good improvement. We added along the waterfront here, which was definitely something that we lacked after the last episode. What else did we do? We built up the oil industry a little bit. It's really small. That's all it really needs to be. We're not really going to be even getting the petrol refinery or anything like that. We added in a cool historical factory through here. We did some expansion in this area of Dipsy Doodle. And then if we zoom out with Prattsburgh again, yeah, look at that. Once we build up on this side and then fill up this area that I teased, it's going to look real good, isn't it? And then obviously on this side too, we're going to get some expansion down the road, but I think this area turned out really nicely. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.